And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, with planet.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside FT off. Bring in FT off. Off. It's orange!
Orange 45! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If there's methane to be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You good? We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to another NSF live stream. You are looking at a Falcon 9 rocket sitting proud atop Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF. I'll be your host for this morning's launch. Again, Starlink 10-61 will be launching more Starlink satellites, 28 to be precise, into orbit. I believe it's like a 53-degree inclined orbit. We'll get to it. Also joining me is our ever-competent cohort of co-hosts, starting off with Mr. Adrian Beil. Adrian, how are you doing on this fine early morning, late night, wherever you are around the world? Well, I know you're in Germany, but I mean the viewers. How are you doing?
For the person of the viewers, I will pretend I'm anywhere in the world, so it could be any time zone. But no, I am it's still morning here, so gonna be a fun one, Jack. But overall, yeah, it's Starlink time again.
Indeed. And if you have any questions, be sure to @ NASA Spaceflight, or you can just type @ NSF. That's Nectar Sierra Foxtrot. And you can ask a question in chat. We'll see it pop up in some software we have running in the background. Also joining us, I believe, on comms, hopefully, if we're lucky, is the one, the only D Aries. Oh, I blew it. DSLS Aries 1Ys. D, how are you doing?
You know, it is a early morning here on the Space Coast, but there is a rocket on the pad, and it is getting ready to launch, so it is a good day.
Indeed. Any day there's a rocket launch is a good day, and increasingly it's like every day has has at least one rocket launch, so every day's a good day. Hooray! So yeah, that is the state of play. Starlink 10-61. We have Carson in the background producing. Thank you to Carson for that as well. We do know, yes, there is a closure in Starbase today, and we will be going live if things heat up here in Starbase, but in the meantime, we have a nice little appetizer, a little Starlink for us. You can see the NSF socials there in the top right as well. You can follow us on whatever socials you're a fan of. If you're on X, we're there. If you're on any other of the socials, we're there too. Be sure to check them out. All right, 45 minutes to go. You can see the clock there in the upper left-hand side. Adrian, would you be so kind as to give us a brief info dump in terms of this mission, Starlink 10-61? Where's it going? What's the booster doing after it yeets the second stage? Just give us a little bit of a rundown.
Sure, but before that, I have two jokes I wanted to make that I came up with in the opening monologue. First off, don't add Nectar Sierra Foxtrot to us. That's actually not working in the system. Second, why were we only getting D commentary if we are lucky? Is D rolling a dice every time they're on commentary? And it's like, oh, it's a 6, so you're not lucky today?
I do have a D20 right here on my desk, and I could determine which commentator I throw a question to by rolling the D20, but no, I just meant, like, you know, sometimes signal can be spotty in the field.
I just wanted to be funny. I wanted to be funny. Also, I want to point out, oh, good.
Oh, it might have been a little bit robotic. See? If we're lucky, then the signal will hold.
We were not lucky there. That was a bad roll. So D rolled on connection, and it was a critical failure.
I think that was a nat 1 on
Yeah.
using electromagnetic spectrum. Anyways, please give us a rundown of the mission,
Yes.
Adrian.
Yeah, we'll do. This is Starlink Group 10-61 launching, surprise, surprise, on a Falcon 9 rocket from Slick 40. It will carry 28 Starlink V2 mini satellites for their second generation high speed, low orbit internet satellite constellation. And, well, it's a relatively young booster here. And relatively young, I mean, it's only its 7th flight, because this is B1092 after a 27-day turnaround. It will land on, just read the instructions, which is stationed already, of course. And yeah, besides that, that's, I think, everything important you need to know about this mission.
Excellent. Again, 28 Starlink satellites on this one. It's pretty wild how SpaceX has been able to eke out little bits of performance from Falcon 9 and jam more and more of those. What are they now, Adrian? V2 mini Starlink satellites
Yes.
on each of these missions?
Yeah, because the initial V2 was for Starship, and of course Starship didn't, let's say, reach that moment of being able to support Starlink that quickly. So they also applied for this V2 Mini, which is like their updated satellite that is smaller. That's why it's called Mini. So yeah, because it needs to launch in Falcon.
Right, and at some point, hopefully soon, SpaceX will begin launching the full-sized version 3 satellites on Starship, but they have to get version 3 of Starship up and running too. It's kind of like nice synergy. Version 3 Starship, version 3 Starlink, and in
Version
service of
3
that,
Raptor.
version 3 Raptor, yeah, good call. In service of that, there is hopefully going to be some sort of ship testing later on today. Again, we will go live when testing spools up at the launch site in Starbase for Starship, because we are getting closer to flight 11. But let's hang out.
Very close, actually.
Yeah, like kind of bonkers close, but
Yeah.
we can.
Have
we
you
can
seen
get
that
into
heat
it.
shield?
It looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
I ran around yesterday on the beach and got some shots. It's a good looking rocket. I really can't wait for Starship version 3. I also can't wait for Starlink version 3. But in the meantime, we have Starlink version 2 minis launching on Falcon 9. It's like we have version 3 at home. And version 3 at home is V2 mini. Oh man. Dia, if we have you, if you can hear us all right, what's the situation like on the ground? I know we're a few minutes away from fueling. Good time to get a sit rep. What's the weather like? Give us a bit of a field report, since you're out there with the cameras in the field right now.
What did you roll on the D20?
Well, give me a second. Roll D20. You can do that on Google, so that's relatively quick.
That's not
It's a 15, so I guess we're fine.
yeah. All right, you're good.
So what you couldn't hear me say earlier was 15 and above. I will answer the question.
Nice.
But the weather today, it is actually a bit cloudy, but the forecast gives a 35% chance of violation, with the only primary concern being that cumulus cloud roll. So, it's far better. I can see it's clear for about half the sky, and then the other half has clouds, but those seem to have been thinning out since I got here. So it should be a good day for a launch. Hopefully that continues, and we will be ready for a liftoff in just about 40 minutes.
Just about 40 minutes. That means we're getting pretty close to the start of fueling as well, which is good, because we want to see this rocket get into the air and increase the bandwidth of internet coming from space.
That could help D. No, but there's so much rabbit hole here, right? We could also talk about, so D is like a technical, very like competent person. So does D have a modifier if we try to contact them? Like, do I have to add something to the roll? Is the 15 just based on natural die, or is there like a +4 on internet?
Yeah, D definitely has like a +2 to wisdom. I mean, come on, D wise. And D also has like a +2 just like some sort of technical ability. I'm not sure how you would
Yeah,
label
so
that.
we're like +4 on.
Yeah, I think giving D a +4. Yeah, I think that's fine. I
Yeah.
think that's fair. Am I D-
You're being reminded in the back channel that we should talk timeline by D.
am I DMing this stream now? If anyone's ever played D&D,
Y'all
they have
haven't
no
rolled for me
idea.
to be able to actually talk on stream. So once you roll again, then I'll be able to jump in.
Yeah, Adrian, can we get a D? If you don't know what a D20 is, it's a 20-sided
It's
die.
a 4.
A 4. Oh yeah, we can't do timeline. Oh geez. Instead, we're gonna do support. Nick, thank you for the support. They became a Capcom member. That's awesome. You get Discord access at Capcom level and above. Jump into the Discord and say, hey, it's a really great place where all kinds of fun shenanigans occur. There's a bunch of different channels. There's food chat. Of course, there's rocket channels where we talk about rockets, but all kinds of good stuff in there. Tayata becoming a Padrat member. Kazi becoming a Padrat member. And George Ellis becoming a Padrat member. Thank you all. All right, D, how about we talk timeline as we get very close here to the start of fueling, hopefully, ...
Yeah, so we are getting closer and closer to 38 minutes. That's when the SpaceX launch director should verify whether they are go for propellant load for this mission. And just a few minutes later, at T-minus 35 minutes, that's when that propellant load will begin, and that's when their launch time will be sort of locked in for that 5:30 timeline. Because once they start fueling, they can't really adjust their launch time at all. That's when the RP-1 loading begins, and the first stage liquid oxygen loading also begins. As we get closer to launch at about T-minus 20 minutes, that's when we will see the famous 20-minute vent, and that is sort of preparations for the second stage liquid oxygen loading to begin. They have engine chill at 7 minutes and a whole bunch of calls that happen in the last minute from pre-launch checkouts, final pressurization, and then the final go for launch at T-minus 45 seconds. But of course, we're just looking for those first signs of propellant load here in a few minutes. And, we're getting closer and closer to this launch. Let's do it.
Sweet. Alex on our back channel with some ever helpful background information. They say after prop load begins, they can totally adjust the launch time to the next day.
Hey, well, you got to give them credit because they could also go to the same day if they have enough time. It would happen mostly if it's like just after midnight and then they push to a window, but that window shifts back 20 minutes. And so then it crosses back into the same day at like 11:50.
Ah, yes, a stream of technicalities.
Love it. I love it. All right, let's move right along. Sean Brockist is asking jellyfish conditions, and I'm going to roll, and it's a 1. So, Adrian, jellyfish conditions, question mark?
I guess I just, while could do commentary, I tip over and I hurt my knee.
Fire.
Anyway, yeah, I catch fire. Jellyfish conditions. Well, let me look at the time in Florida because I'm totally not.
I think no.
No. It's if it would be like middle of the summer, I think we might be close. But I mean, it's 4:53 and Florida sunrise is what today? Google, please. Florida sunrise today is 7:08. No way. So this will just be dark.
Still beautiful though. Still a rocket launch.
Still
Still
beautiful.
cool. Ship 24 is asking ship 38 cryo today, then static fire, or straight to static fire. Adrian, what do you think?
I think there's a very chance. Like they seem to be in a very SpaceX push mood toward it like that. I think there's a good chance we will see a single engine static fire today, and then they move on to the 6th engine because that's their usual flow, right? They first start with the single, and then they do the 6th engine because hey, it's a small bit of risk mitigation. But I would be very surprised if we see a cryo because technically that was already done.
Cryo, spin prime.
No. No.
Yeah, either way, SpaceX is moving incredibly fast with Starship, so we will keep our eyes on the prize that is the launch site here in Starbase. And again, If things spool up there, we will go live. Keeping our eye now on Falcon 9, though, the base of the rocket, I think I might see a little bit of condensation there, question mark?
Alex will tell you in the back channel it's too early for that, and it's about 2 more minutes until you see something.
I swear I'm not hallucinating, though.
I'm just preempting what Alex will say.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I made the same mistake a few days ago on the Starlink, and it was like at 35 minutes. Oh, I think I see something, and then Alex went like, "Nope, you cannot see it. It's about a minute away."
Oh, goodness. Yep, that's exactly what he just typed in the back channel. Wow, good job, Adrian.
Thank you, Alex, for committing to the bit.
Here's a question from Saad asking, do we expect Falcon 9 launching Starlinks still by mid to late 2027? 2027. D, what do you think? You got a... Oh, wow, you got a 23. No, yeah, 23. You're good. You're good to answer.
Oh, wow. So
It's going to be a good one.
I would say yes. I would still expect them personally to be launching some missions by that point. But I think once you go to the 28 timeframe, that's when I would guess those really get cut down.
Yeah, this is a really interesting timeline for this question specifically, because mid to late 2027, one would think that should be when Starship is getting into full swing with Starlink, but you never know what the future holds in terms of how that program is going to go. And even when Starship begins launching Starlink V3s, I feel like Falcon 9 is still the workhorse for a while until Starship can grab the baton. I would expect Falcon 9 launching Starlink still by mid to late 2027. Yes. Adrian, what do you think?
I would. It depends a bit how much they can. So there is a limit to the Starlink constellation, right? There's a limit how many satellites they need.
Right.
So I think basically how it will roll over is they will start to launch on Starship, which presumably is cheaper per kilogram, and then fill basically up what they can with Starlink. Starlink. However, there's also some other missions that will take a huge amount of Starship launch capability.
Right.
With Artemis being the main one,
Right.
but that will also take 10 launches.
I don't even think we know yet, and I don't think SpaceX knows either. At least if they have, they are. Oh, are we getting frost? Is there
There's
frost
frost,
in the base of
which-
the vehicle? Am I allowed to say that now, Alex?
You're allowed to say that. He even said it.
Okay, good. I'm not going to get yelled at in the back channel by Alex then. Yeah, this time, for this specific thing. There you can see the countdown ticking down. Currently
Disclaimer,
loading.
Alex is a very friendly person and basically never yells at anybody.
Well, yes, Alex is a very friendly person. He does tend to yell when he gets riled. Like when Alex is really riled up and yelling, you're having a good time. But it's not like angry yelling. It's more like I'm having fun yelling. It's like, we love Alex. And he is typing in the back channel, I'm yelling at Jack in all caps. Thank you, Alex. 31 minutes to go. Let's do some more questions. How about?
Yeah, let's do it.
Keith is asking, is 61, remember, tonight's mission is Starlink 10-61. Is 61 the highest subshell in the Starlink constellation? Most other shells seem to only go to about 20 or 30. Adrian, what's going on with that?
I looked it up earlier, and I think that's correct. I did not have the time to go through everything, but Alex is typing, so we'll just stall a bit so I can totally have the answer here. But I think that's correct.
I'll roll a d20 to see how good Alex's answer is going to be.
Group 6 went to Starlink Group 6-93.
93. Jeez. Okay.
There we go. Sorry, it's 300 launches, so...
It's a lot of launches.
It's a lot.
As a reminder, tonight's launch is SpaceX's 560th launch overall. It's their 121st launch of the year, and it is their 9th launch of the month. It is Earth's 216th orbital launch of the year. And this is bonkers to me. Falcon's 181st launch since the last failure. Which was like what? Last year?
That's kind of crazy. It's like the numbers that Falcon 9 is like starting to rack up is, I mean, at this point, just insane.
It's just bonkers. Yeah, absolutely bonkers. It's truly
Oh.
a marvel, and it's always fun, no matter what time of the day it is, to see one of these candles get lit and see something, in this case Starlink satellites, get chucked into space seemingly effortlessly, even though we all know this is still the bleeding edge of what human beings are capable of.
Yeah, I think that's the most crazy thing about this. It's the absolute reliability they are able to launch these with. Like they're just so consistent. Kind of insane.
Pretty bonkers.
Pretty
Uh,
bonkers.
Ozzy's asking, how many launches is SpaceX tracking towards this year?
I know there's a spreadsheet, but it's like close to their goal. It's they're not that far off to my knowledge. Like 100, close to 160, 170, somewhere in there, which is like once every 2 days. So yeah, 100. Oh, there we go. I think I was kind of good with that. And 164. Right now they're
Nice.
tracking 164.
Not bad.
But yeah, of course, I will adjust. There is also, I hate to say it, there's also some hurricane season coming up. So there is also the potential that there might be a situation where they have to stand down for a few days, for example.
It sort of does depend on just how active hurricane season is. Hopefully it's not a very active season this year.
Yeah.
That would be nice. I'm only just now getting the Land Rover back to where it was before Francine didn't even hit Starbase last year, just like past Starbase. But turns out lots of water is bad for cars. So it's also bad for launch sites, which tend to be at sea level. So hopefully not a super active hurricane season this year. And SpaceX can launch in excess of 164, but we'll see how it goes.
I agree with that.
All right, here's one from James. James is asking, Jack, how's the new edit of the intro coming on, and when will we see Rocket Lab? Great interview for everyone who's not seen it. Yes, Ryan did a great job interviewing Peter Beck yesterday on NSF Live. If you haven't watched that interview, they talk about Rocket Lab's Mars ambitions. It's truly fantastic. Ryan did a great job with the interview. Except I have a bone to pick with Ryan. Peter Beck clowned on me for not putting Electron in the intro, but it's in the intro. It's in there. It's in there. I wish I had been on that stream so I could have said it's right there. It's right here. It is there. Electron is in the intro. It could be in the intro more. We just need more footage of Electron. Hint, hint. Astrophysics is asking, when is the next Falcon Heavy launch? Well, if you had the next spaceflight app, you could know quite easily by just bringing it up and taking a look. But Adrian, when is the next Falcon Heavy launch? Is it soon?
That's actually not that of a stupid question here because
wait. No, stop. You said it's not like, that stupid of a question, so it is kind of a stupid question. Is that what you're saying?
No, absolutely not. Because sorry, this was my German coming through.
I'm giving you a hard time.
Technically, I think it's net December. However, it's a bit like there's always some interpretation going on one that might be, and so there's Griffin in play, Griffin Mission 1. That is technically potentially the next Falcon Heavy. We just like it's just their old communicated net date, I think. And it could be very much, and I don't like to say this, that we don't see a Falcon Heavy anymore this year, and it might be 2026.
Got it.
Also, I really want to point out I didn't mean to insult anybody there. That was just my German making a very funny sentence.
You, to be clear, I don't think anybody thought you were actually insulting anyone. I was just making a joke out of it because
Good,
German.
just making sure. Good, just making sure.
If anyone's at fault, it is me, and everyone can be mad at me. Well, Falcon
Don't be
Heavy.
mean at Jack.
Falcon Heavy is such a interesting rocket, given that it launched twice, and then didn't for a number of years, and then launched 5 times in a year, and then it's like very. And then you look at the other triple core rocket out there, or that was out there, Delta 4, and it launched once every year, every 18 months or so, but that's it. Falcon Heavy 5 in a year, bam, 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 and then we get nothing. I don't know. It's very interesting how those two heavy lift rocket programs have sort of followed very different paths.
It's a clear case of what didn't help Falcon Heavy, of course, is the cadence that Falcon 9 has and the capability that Falcon 9 has, because while initially Falcon, and also the capability, because some of the capability increasements that Falcon 9 got over the years has started to consume Falcon Heavy payloads. We have seen payloads that initially were supposed to launch on Falcon Heavy launch on Falcon 9 because it's just that capable. And at what point it becomes cheap. Maybe it's in some cases even cheaper to throw away Falcon 9 instead of building a Falcon Heavy, because it's so much more complicated. So yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, it's like Falcon Heavy debuted not even with in Block 5 configuration, and then Falcon 9 got its Block 5 upgrades. And like you said, the performance increases that Falcon 9 got began to eat some of those use cases for Falcon Heavy, but then Falcon Heavy got the sort of Block 5 upgrades as well. It's a whole thing. Pretty neat. Mr. Fluffy is also pretty neat. They gave us a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mr. Fluffy. They say, thank you for staying up, getting up for launch, Jack, Adrian, D-Wise, and Carson, and Alex. West Coast, best coast. Heck yeah, Mr. Fluffy.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Quickly want to also mention what Alex is saying in background, and what I also think is very neat. Nusanatra Lima, which were launched last week, was a 7.8 metric ton GTO satellite. One of the heaviest GTO satellites ever launched. That would have been, in the past, most likely a Falcon Heavy. It's just, Falcon 9 got just too powerful. Second heaviest, in fact.
That's remarkable.
And don't underestimate Falcon 9. Falcon 9 is a capable beast.
It really, I hope I'm not overemphasizing the point, but it is really fascinating to consider Falcon 9 and SpaceX's other rocket program, Starship, and think about where we are in the Starship program relative to where Falcon was at its point. At a similar point in its development, and then imagine if we were looking at a Starship right now, mature to the extent that Falcon 9 is, what is that going to look like? It's going to look really cool. And if you don't think that that's coming, I don't know what to tell you, because it is. Maybe it'll take longer than we all hope or expect or want, but we're going to get to a point where Starship has followed the same trajectory, where they've been able to eke out little bits of performance here and there over the span of years, and we're on Starship Block 5, whatever it is, whatever equivalent of a Falcon 9 Block 5. It's going to be good stuff, and I'm very excited for it. Almost as excited.
See them sometimes raise the capability of Falcon 9. So it's crazy.
Still. All right, you can see there the 20-minute vent. That is exactly what we want to see at about 20 minutes in the countdown. Adrian, what exactly are we looking at with this vent, and why is it the best vent?
This is the best vent because it knows we are on track. But on a more serious note, this is the the TE venting, so it's not like the rocket venting, just to make that clear. And that is because the preparation of the stage 2 LOX load begins, because they load RP1 first on the second stage and then LOX. And this is basically the purging of that lines, getting that ready. And then in 3 minutes and 33 seconds from now, they will start stage 2 LOX loading, which is the last of the 4 Falcon 9 tanks that will be loaded. And basically, this confirms all's on track and they're doing good so far. Well done, SpaceX. I'm not sure why I went there. But yeah, that signifies that event. And for us, it's the best event because it just looks cool and also means we are on track.
Yeah, we are on track. This lets us know that things are progressing properly and that the rocket is getting ever closer to get ready to launch in just under 19 minutes now at this point. So if you have any questions, now's a good time to ask them. You can @ NSF in chat. We'll see your questions pop up in some software we have running in the background. Yay! Yay, rockets! James Atkinson is asking, when NSF Dungeons and Dragons event, who is the best DM, they said GM, on the team? Oh man, I feel like, I don't think Chris has ever DM'd, but I feel like Chris B would be a really good DM. Das, of course, also I feel like would be a very good DM. And of course, you, Adrian, you actually have DM'd, so I think you would be a very good one as well.
I'm running a long-standing campaign for 4 years and have DM'd about 200 DM sessions.
Okay, I think you're going to give everyone a run for their money in terms of best NSF DM. Someday.
But I don't want. Wait. I don't want to actually. Can I just be a player?
Yes, you can.
Cool. Forever
Imagine-
DM no more.
Imagine if Alex was the DM. It would take like 3 months worth of game sessions to like get through the backstory and intro. It's like 3 months in. It's like, all right, I get to roll a dice finally.
He would know every rule.
Yeah.
There's just a jack in the back channel from Alex. Like, not even.
I did kind of go out of my way to dunk on him there. I'm sorry, Alex. No, I'm not.
We're talking so much about D&D, and I'm so excited for like upcoming D&D events, and I'm like, all good. Anyway,
Izagon is asking, if the test site for the ship isn't ready for static fires, does that mean the OLM will be the test location for version 3 ships? I don't think we're going to get to a point where that is necessary, and in fact, I don't know how possible that is given that V2 ships are going to have a different hookup. I mean, I guess they could put a different plate on there and still use the square ringwall 3. I don't know. I expect version 3 ship and Massey's to come back online sort of around the same time. What do you think, Adrian?
no, I don't. I think we have seen preparation on Massey's already for Block 3 and everything. I don't think they. I feel like right now the risk is a bit lower with the ship static fires because it's the old OLM, and like if they lose it, well, they lose like 1 or 2 flights. I don't think they will take that risk with the new pad because it's still like a bit risky. And I just don't see them doing that for like a new pad. So I think it will be Massey's again. And also they have plenty of time. Like I know there's some people throwing extremely optimistic timelines on X and everything, but Block 3 will not launch this year. That's just not realistic in any shape or form. So they have time to get Massey's up.
Yeah, I don't even know how many test tanks we're going to see before Block 3 actually finally happens, but it seems like every day they open up the Star Factory and roll out a new weird tank lately. So, but that's good. Like, I'm sort of hopeful and optimistic that given the number of test tanks that we're seeing, correlation is not causation, yada, yada, but hopefully more component testing and subsystem testing is occurring as a result of all these test tanks, or the test tanks are a byproduct of that, and version 3 does not have to go through the same sort of growing pains that version 2 did, because we want to see Starship get up and running and start to launch version 3 satellites, because Falcon 9 can't do it. Falcon 9 can only do the V2 minis, and it can launch a bunch of them, and every now and then they get a little more performance from Falcon 9 and can stick another V2 mini on there, but a V2 mini is not a V3. A V3 Starlink satellite is much, much bigger because Starship is also much bigger, 9-meter diameter. Instead of, what's Falcon 9's diameter, like 5.7 meters or something? I'm pulling that number out of my brain.
No, it's way smaller. It's 3 meters something.
3.
I
think New Glenn might be
3.7 meters.
3.7. Thank you. I'm in shambles. Alex is typing. Oh, okay. Wait, Alex says 5.4.
Wait.
The fairing.
Oh,
The
fairing.
fairing. Aha, because the fairing is wider than the body of the rocket
Yeah,
itself.
I thought we talked about the body of the rocket.
Yeah, fair. Well, fairing. Haha. You see what I did there?
Oh my god.
14 minutes to go. Everything seems to be ticking along. Jules is asking, what's your take on what happened with Cygnus? It had a little bit of a problem with one of the engine, right? As it was trying to get to the ISS.
Yeah, that's, I mean, hard to have a take at this point, if you like. Just the factual observation for now. I mean, it seems to be a rough few years for the Cygnus program overall, with all kinds of, like, issues.
Isn't this the one they damaged too, and then like had to fix or whatever?
Wasn't that 22 and they removed it? Like, wasn't it, like, did they skip 22 because they wanted to launch 23 because they dropped 22?
Alex in the back channel says, turned out to be a software issue. Apparently it got scared and shut down the engine early. The engine was fine itself. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think, in the end, like, all fixable. Just still a few rough years for Cygnus, for sure. Like, I'm sure they don't like it.
Right. I love Cygnus, man. It's a cool spacecraft. They've done a bunch of really neat experiments with it. It's one of the ways the ISS can throw away garbage, is by jamming it all into Cygnus and then letting it re-enter and burn up. And they've done like safety experiments, like, we'll start a fire on a Cygnus after we detach it from the space station and see, use that to study the propagation of fire in space and determine better ways to deal with fire on space stations. Pretty neat. Cygnus is a cool craft, and yeah, like you said, perhaps a rough couple of missions for Cygnus, but hopefully it gets through it.
It also has crazy commonalities to other vehicles, which I always like. Like, because the structure is built by Thales Alenia Space in Italy, and it's the same rings that, for example, make out part of Gateway. Like, they use the same foundation. Essentially, some parts of Gateway is just like a modified bigger Cygnus. Yeah.
I mean, why not, right? There's the Dragon X, or not? Is it Dragon XL? Is that what I'm thinking of? There's so many different Dragon variants now. There's also the space station tug Dragon. It's cool when commonality is taken advantage of in that way. It's the sort of thing you would like sort of expect to see or want to see.
Yeah. It's they also have like I think it's also the same welding architecture that built some parts of the space station, for example. That is building Cygnus, because it's also, well, it's like the astronaut meme. It's all Thales Alenia Space, always has been. So yeah,
that's good stuff. Anonymous with a store purchase. They grabbed the Concrete Way to Go shirt. Classic. They say, happy 21st to Sam Carroll in the UK. Big fan of NSF. Birthday on the 21st of September, but whenever you can mention him during a space flight would be great. I'm his mum. Happy birthday, Sam Carroll. 21st, no less. That's a big one. Oh, what a sweet mom. Jennifer Gates is asking, has SpaceX built or are they working on building the new landing pads for Falcon Heavy? I do believe Harry Stranger posted about this recently, that those landing pads are under construction with some satellite imagery. Did you see that post, Adrian?
I saw that post. I have Harry on alert on X.
Same.
It's always it's one of the accounts that if you really like the space nitty-gritty stuff, I think Harry is one of those like where else do you get like cool satellite imagery?
Right.
And yeah, they've started clearing on Slick 40 for the landing pad. It's like a bit chunk away from Slick 40, but they're working on it. They're getting it ready, and also it's a SAR image, which is always cool.
Yeah, synthetic aperture radar hurts my head in the best way. But yeah, Harry Stranger, check him out on X if you don't know who we're talking about. Friend of NSF, Harry rules, like the guru of satellite imagery. Really just like one of the few accounts I personally have notifications on for. Oh yeah, there you can see the tweet from Harry right there. You can see where they're clearing the land. Awesome. Very cool. I have to mention, I just have to mention Harry's socials as well. And I do believe Harry has a Patreon. Really just one of the good ones. Like, absolute critical support. Speaking of support, another way you can support what we do here at NSF is by running over to shop.nasaspaceflight.com and grabbing yourself a metal print. That's right. We have metal prints. We also have paper prints. A portion of the sale of each of the image goes to the individual who shot the image, which means that they can spend that money on more gear, or repairing gear, or renting gear, or gas, or food, or life. The prints are great, especially the aluminum ones or the metal ones. They are printed directly on metal. They're easy to hang. You don't need to frame them. And we've got some new ones from Caesar in the store as well. If there's a photographer whose work you want to support, be sure to support them. You can see that sweet explosion shot from D there, I believe, is who shot that one. Also recently added to the store as well. If you want a little bit of fire on your walls that's safe to have on your walls, you can check it out. The prints are awesome. I can't say it enough. And the support that the photographers get from those print sales is absolutely huge. In addition to what NS... Oh, is that a COPV? Jeez.
That's so cool.
That's such a cool shot. Oh, man.
I don't think that's the guilty COPV, by the
Or
way.
is
I
that
don't
the
think
door? Is that the door or the COPV?
That one
Yeah,
should be a COPV.
Okay.
There are earlier shots that have the door super clearly visible. I mean, there are multiple COPVs
Yes.
lying in that shot.
I think the COPV that was the culprit no longer existed at this point, but
yeah, they like
I digress.
its liberation from construction is kind of like the reason for this explosion.
Anyway, that's the prints. We really appreciate you even considering putting some of our people's artwork on your walls. It would be amazing. And dare I say, I think this would look great on the wall in a bathroom. All right, let's move on.
Why in a... I'm not going to...
I said let's move on. I said let's move on. I said let's move on. 6 minutes to go until Starlink 10-61 from Slick 40, launching 28 Starlink mini satellites into orbit. The booster is 1092-7, and it's going to land on JRTI. That's just read the instructions. I'm just causing psychic trauma left and right tonight. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Johan is asking, how many V3 Starlinks can Falcon 9 launch? None. Can they have minis and V3 side by side in constellation? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the V2 minis are basically also like same capability, small as that. Then like it's a thing. So they can probably there's already mixed in the Starlink constellation. Like it's already mixed up between different versions.
All right, I am getting launch antsy, and I hope D out in the field is ready. I bet you are. D, should we let you go do camera thingies?
I'll be back. Just wait.
All right, we will be patient. Let's continue on here. Home Planet's asking if I read that if an astronaut had to take control of the Dragon from Falcon, you would fly it using a touch screen. Yes? I mean, the primary interface is a touch screen. I think there's a hand controller. Maybe? Maybe not. I don't actually remember.
They have like they have some buttons that are required to be buttons for critical actions. They are not only touchscreen, but they can control most of the things on the touch screen. But as Alex said in the back channel, for example, releasing parachutes manually would not be on a touch screen. That would be a physical button.
Neat. Under 5 minutes to go. Very exciting.
Nice.
Hopefully we get
Look
to
at
see
that.
28 more Starlink satellites launched into space. Adrian, do we have numbers on how many Starlinks are up right now? I know it's many thousands, but the last time I looked at the number, I think it was in the 4,000 range, I want to say. However, it's been a little while since I've looked that number up, and SpaceX is just launching Starlinks left and right. So I could be like woefully out of date in terms of how many there actually are right in space right now. And obviously, there's like a difference between in space and in space and operational, or in space and orbit raising, or in space and orbit lowering to be demised. But do we have a number roughly?
It's roughly over 9,600 satellites launched and over 8,300 in orbit.
Oh man, that's a lot.
So we are approaching 10,000 launched. 10,000 satellites. Which also means that Starlink is now over 9,000.
It's over 9,000! No, but also, SpaceX is by far and wide the largest operator of satellites in space. That is remarkable.
I think they have created more satellites now for Starlink than all companies combined in history, if I remember that correctly.
It really is just sort of mind-boggling. You know what else is mind-boggling? Falcon 9 looking awesome, sitting on the pad, all nice and condensation-y. The rocket has come alive. We are under 3 minutes to go. We're in just a few seconds here. We're going to see another large vent from the transporter erector. That's the TE. Similar to that T-minus 20-minute vent that we saw earlier. Adrian, what is this particular vent that we... It's not the best vent. Is it the second best vent?
I mean, it's close to the best vent. So you don't want to have propellant remains in your TE, right? Because if you have everything that has oxygen or RP1 in it, when this rocket launches, tends to get a bit crispy. So what they do is
you have a tube with RP1 in it, and let's just say, by sheer happenstance, next to that tube with RP1 in it is a lot of fire. It's generally a bad thing for that RP1 not burning.
Yeah, so what they do is to make sure that the TE no longer contains like residue RP1 and liquid oxygen, they purge the lines because otherwise your TE would just start burning. So yeah, that's what they do.
See also the TE at Vandenberg, which I don't know if it still does, but very frequently, at least in the early Falcon 9 days, or at least my early days shooting Falcon 9 at Vandenberg, would regularly just burst into flames as Falcon 9 was like one rocket length above it.
Yeah, I mean that's a common thing that we have seen from transport directors and everything, where they just burn. Like we have to remember the Vulcan structure after the initial launch.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, so they have extinguishing systems for that.
All right, we're into gas closeouts. We're under a minute to go. Falcon 9 at this point, its internal computer takes control, and if it sees anything it doesn't like, it says, I'm not going to space today. So Falcon 9 is in startup. 45 seconds to go. Very exciting. We're going to see nighttime turn into daytime briefly as these engines light up. 9 Merlin engines on Falcon 9, and we are go for launch. 30 seconds. Hopefully, all will go well, and 28 more Starlink V2 mini satellites will be on their way to space momentarily. This is going to be a good one. Reminder, we've got D out in the field tracking and setting up this camera and others that we will be seeing here momentarily. 5 seconds. There's ignition. Gorgeous. I said night and day, didn't I? And liftoff. There goes Falcon 9, carrying Starlink 10-61 into space. Let's listen in. All right. Falcon 9 ascending into thinner and thinner atmosphere, well past max Q. You can see the exhaust plume on the rocket expanding as the vehicle ascends into regions of lower and lower pressure as it gets higher and higher. Rocket nozzles are shaped that way to get the most efficiency out of the thrust, and as you go higher and higher, the thrust exits the nozzle and then has like nothing pushing it in form of pressure and expands. And here we're coming up on main engine cutoff. Really expanded plume at this point. It's like bluey purple, so beautiful. And there's main engine cutoff. D's still tracking it, phenomenal work. There's second stage start, and you can see just barely the first stage turn around.
Beautiful.
Here it is from the SpaceX side, slightly delayed. I always love seeing the inner stage just get roasted by the second stage.
Yeah, you can see it there. Wow.
Yep. And there you have a shot from D of the second stage cooking along. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Is this just the exposure settings on the camera, or is that a little bit of a moon jelly?
Oh, you can see the fairing opening. I love that. Sorry, that's a... Like, I always love when you can see the fairing starting to open before it actually opens.
Yeah,
Like,
heck yeah.
you can see the clams moving and everything.
Really gorgeous shot. Oh, wow, and you can see, I think, the fairing there in that shot, unless that's a star.
I think
Really
that was the
beautiful.
fairings.
All right, second stage continuing to pile on velocity. Meanwhile, first stage... Oh, God, sorry, I keep sneezing and having to mute myself. First stage is actually still ascending. If you look at its altitude, its momentum is carrying it upwards, and you can see its speed is dropping as it starts to reach its own individual apogee, and then it's going to start falling. You're going to see that altitude drop, and you're going to see that speed on the first stage increase as it heads down toward the atmosphere. Meanwhile, second stage, just doing the work. Just giving those 28 Starlink satellites the business and pushing those into orbit. Coming up on 10,000 kilometers an hour in velocity. And the first stage, is it descending? 114 kilometers in altitude? Maybe? Yep, you can see the speed is starting to pick up on the first stage, and it has dropped to 113 kilometers in altitude. So pretty soon here, first stage is going to have to do an entry burn and protect itself with supersonic retro propulsion. You heard that right. It's going to ignite its engines while they're facing into the supersonic flow in order to protect itself from the heat of reentry with its own rocket exhaust, which, as it turns out, is still very hot but colder than the heat of reentry. Something that we sort of take for granted with hundreds of Falcon 9 launches every year, but something that was completely unproven when Falcon 9 first started flying, and something that is just absolutely remarkable when you think about it. Like the idea of 9 engines facing into the supersonic airflow and not just shredding or tearing apart, or it's just wild.
I'm just looking at the fact that SpaceX once again changed overlays, but that's just me. That's the thing. But here comes the engine.
Did they take away the engine diagram?
No, they appear in the. So if you look at the booster speed, they will appear in the. I think in the altitude meter. It's either altitude or speed. One of them will change to it. Any second now. Maybe a light.
Is that the limb of the Earth in the background? That's beautiful.
Maybe a light.
Got some RCS pumps.
There it is.
And entry burn. There's 1 engine, there's 3. And back down to 1, maybe, momentarily? I spoke too soon. Just wild. Wild that SpaceX is able to make this look easy. All right, so
I
Falcon
love this.
9
This is
is now
the best
through
about.
Yes, go ahead.
This is the best about night launches. Look at the grid fence. Like, look at the print of the plasma in the air.
Yeah. The right after we get through the entry burn, when the plasma begins to accumulate on those grid fins, it's just gorgeous. One of those things that doesn't look like it should be real. Speaking of, that nozzle on the second stage, that big full-size niobium nozzle, vacuum optimized, helping the second stage push those satellites into space, coming up on 20,000 kilometers an hour of velocity on the second stage. Meanwhile, first stage is under 10 kilometers in altitude and about to be under 1,000 kilometers an hour in speed. Coming in hot to land on Just Read the Instructions. That's SpaceX's drone ship that's out there for this particular mission, lovingly referred to as JRTI by not that many people. All right, landing burn.
Looking good.
Come on, Starlink signal, come on. Womp womp. Oh. There's the deck of the drone ship. There you have it. Falcon 9 back on, well, not land, but has done its job, which is launching the second stage and its batch of Starlink satellites into space. So now that first stage can be reused. Meanwhile, this poor second stage's destination is, well,
ocean.
It's not going to be reused. That's the whole point of
ocean.
Starship, right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Also, you could say the booster rolled on critical success on landing to keep the theme of this stream.
Does Falcon 9 have like a modifier, for
I would say
landing?
at this point that's like technically it's a hard thing to display in D&D because the lowest chance you could actually display of success would be 5% of failure, because 1 of 20 would be a critical failure. Unless you give it advantage, where you have like 2 dice, and so probably it has advantage and has like such a high modifier that it needs to roll a natural one, something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I would agree with that.
So we went way too deep this stream into D&D rabbit holes and rocketry.
I've been rolling a d20 this entire time. This is fun.
Yeah, we hear it.
Oh, sorry. Really, you can hear that?
No, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Wait. Here. Oh, I got an
Oh,
11.
So, by the way, replays.
Hey, replays. D, do we have you back? That was great work tracking.
Did you roll for me to be able to talk?
Hang on. 17, you're good.
Yes, I am back. It was a good launch. Those clouds offered some great foreground, and now I'm going through the footage to get some slow-mo replay for the end of the stream.
Excellent.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. That's gonna be a treat. Let's keep watching some replays. I'm excited. I'm excited for the slow-mo. Here's a shot from one of our press site cameras. You can see like the triangular NASA press building roof awning facade. I don't even know what you call that.
I feel like you just dig deeper and deeper into not having a proper name for that.
They really, you could say I rolled a 1 on my answer for that.
But it's really just a star casually rising.
It's pretty awesome. I never really paid attention to light before I got into photography or before I went to film school. And once you pay attention to what the light at any given time is doing and what type of light it is, whether it's harsh or soft or blue or orange, it's one of those things. Once you notice it, you can't unnotice it, and you appreciate, when it's sunset and the light is really nice. Why are you rambling, Jack? I'm rambling because a rocket is a giant point source of light that moves rapidly through the sky. It really, sometimes these night launches, or you get a jellyfish launch, sometimes the lighting from these things, even the light the rocket itself produces, like look at New Glenn, can be really particularly beautiful. Hey, speaking of particularly beautiful, it's our favorite sight on launch day, an empty launch pad, because the thing went to space. Yay! Yay, Adrian.
Yay! We like space.
We do?
We do. We actually like space, and we also like to see the empty TE there. It's beautiful. And to be fair, that TE will be used very, very soon again, because there's always the next Falcon 9. Let me actually. I think the next one is another Starlink.
Would
I think
not
it's already.
surprise me. Are you checking the next spaceflight app?
Yeah, it's Starlink 10-27 already scheduled on our channel. If you want to bookmark that, it's do you want to know the amazing time that launch will be on?
Oh, I know the amazing time that launch is gonna be.
Wait, I didn't roll. I didn't roll for you. Hang on. Oh, sorry. You got a 9.
I mean,
Okay.
I will still say it because I will just refuse reality and just still talk. And it's 5:10 Eastern.
Whee!
Whee!
Oh, goodness. Well, we will be live for that. And preemptively, thank you to D and Max and the Cape team and their production team and the commentary team. Because rockets don't always launch at the most convenient times. And that's just how it goes.
I want to address a quick question. Somebody's asking why is one of the towers not strobing? It is, but in another direction, so you cannot see it, I think.
Ah, nice. Are we doing an Inception? Wait, somebody put SCL on SBL and then put McGregor Live on SCL. So
no.
So we can go full streamception. It needs to happen. We need to make it happen.
But there you can see Starship.
And then we can reference that moment on the Starship stream that we're going to be doing later today. There is a beach closure for 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. We're expecting some sort of engine testing with the ship. Probably a single engine static fire, if I had to guess. So stay tuned for that. Oh, no. Did we do it? Oh, no.
Oh my god, that is. That's
nice.
that's Starbase Live showing Space Coast Live on a Space Coast stream now.
All right, wait, no. Now put McGregor Live in it. Now put McGregor Live in Space Coast Live. Oh my god, please. This is going to be the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Somebody do it.
Are we really doing this?
Please. I know we're waiting on D's excellent slow-mo, which is actually important. But no, let me dance through the fields of frivolity briefly.
Yeah. Can you tell that Jack is tired?
I have to go set up cameras for the static fire.
We cannot display MGL on SCL.
Oh, dang. All right, well, something to aspire to for
So you have
next
to
time.
display MGL on SBL and then bring in SBL.
Right. It's like a puzzle.
Like, we have 3 tickers up here right now. There's MGL, by the way, where they
No, this
still
doesn't work.
construct.
This doesn't work. Go
It's
ahead.
still
Oh,
cool.
wow. It is still cool, and you can see that giant tarp-covered scaffolding structure, which will be used for question mark, question mark, question mark.
Question mark,
Yeah.
question mark, question mark.
If you want to know all things McGregor, we do have McGregor Live. We also have, of course, Space Coast Live. You're watching a Space Coast launch. You're gonna know that we have Space Coast Live. Wait. Okay, wait. There's Starbase and McGregor and the Space Coast all at once.
Kevin is waking up and is screaming in the back channel how we can make this work with MGL.
No, this you can't do 2 box. It has to be one in the other in the other. It has to be Inception. This is really important. This is the most important thing all of us could be working on right now at 5 a.m.
I love that Kevin had probably at some point was laying in bed and like got so invested to open Control Center and was like, I need to tell him how to do this.
That's how you know it's good TV. That's how you know it's good TV.
This is fantastic.
Kevin in all caps in the back channel. I got out of bed to say this.
Kevin was so invested about this.
Kevin, I hope you got a lot of sleep. Or are you well rested at 5:47 a.m.?
Oh, good stuff. All right. Well, I think on that note, we should probably wrap things up here and get ready for whatever testing is going to be happening in Starbase momentarily. Well, in like 5 hours. Oh my God, 5 hours? What is time?
We just. Oh, I think. Oh, no.
Yes.
Wait.
No, maybe.
So there's Starbase Live. There's McGregor Live.
Right. Almost. We're almost there. But yeah, we should start to wrap. Adrian, thank you for being on commentary this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. This was very, very fun, honestly.
Is D, Adrian, Jack the new Chaos crew?
I still think if you have Alex also on the stream, the chaos would have still spiked. Like
I think it would have been more chaotic if we had Alex here too. I think it would have been more chaotic.
I'm not
But
saying it wouldn't have been.
This
I think-
was a nice chaos crew, and having Alex in the back channel certainly helped some of the chaos.
Absolutely.
it's not as chaos as that one flame trend where we were all awake like 24 hours before that.
Oh man, I forgot that happened. That wasn't a dream?
No, that happened.
Oh no. All right. Well, we will continue to wrap things up here. D, thank you for being on and being out early or late or whatever, operating cameras.
Of course, it's actually a really, really beautiful morning here today, and it is a busy day here today as well. So, great day for a launch. I will see y'all on the next one.
Also operating the stream was Carson Phillips. Thank you, Carson, for operating the stream. I'm Jack Byer for NSF. You know the drill. If you like the stream, do us a favor, hit the like button. It really does make a difference. Follow us on the socials. We're on whatever socials you're on. We're on X, TikTok, Blue Sky, Facebook, all the things. You know how it works. You know how social media works. If you want to know more, if you want to keep track of what's going on, that's where you can find us. Instagram. I didn't say Instagram. That's the best one, if you ask me. Just because, like, I post BTS stuff there to my Instagram story that I don't really post anywhere else. You know, just like random, hey, I'm getting on a plane to do a flyover kind of stuff. And then the NSF account will repost those. And that's, like, kind of content that doesn't really go anywhere else. So, socials, how do they work? With that, I believe we have a sweet slow-mo shot from D to play us out. So let's do it live.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
RS-68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, with planet.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SCE off. Say again, SCE off. Off. It's orange! Orange 45! Oh my god! Oh my god! Decollage! Put that in the big bag, Jingle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
If the methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?